Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Ptp After Dark. With a special guest, Mr. Nuts.
They've always called me special.
Yes, very special.
Special ed.
This evening, Mr. Salty.
Doing good. How are you, sir?
So far, so good.
All right.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Okay.
Let me
Did you
say,
get your tea?
I haven't gotten it yet. It should be here tomorrow, hopefully. I'll let you know when it comes in and how it works. Yeah. Let's see. We got Awakened Mom. Welcome to you. Crazy Chuck is here. White Wings. How you doing? Who else we got here? Smokey Randy. That's as loud as it goes. Let's see.
You could move it up closer. We heard you. If you want to move it up.
No. He's talking about the music.
Oh,
that's as loud as the music goes. Zombie 5 is here. All right. So, and we got some people over on the X and the D Live. Secret Weapon. Thank you for the cookie.
Secret Weapon with a cookie. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to preface this show. Excuse me. We're going to be talking about a controversial subject. So if anybody's sensitive to controversial subjects, I don't know what we're going to do with you. But we're two grown adults talking about a controversial subject. So, and Salty, what would you want to put the title of the subject as?
Wow, it's because we're going to venture off on a couple of different paths on this one. Multiculturalism would be one of them.
Okay.
National pride would be another. Let's go ahead and throw racism in there because it's going to get echoed in people's minds tonight. So we'll go ahead and throw that one in. And yeah,
Multiculturalism. Okay, so I asked you earlier if you could bring up a clip of the person's show that we were watching this morning, so we can give people an idea of what I was talking about. So I was wondering if you did that.
I did not, but I have some stuff on my hard drive, and I will be locating it as we go through the show.
Okay. So
what the show that you're referring to is Red Ice TV. It's a couple. They've been doing this for 12 years. They're both like Norway, Sweden, stuff like that with their background, blonde hair, blue eyes, all that kind of crap. And like any other show, when you step from one level off to another because you want to know about it or because you find something attractive about the show that you want to continue, same thing, Stu Peters, everyone's got a stigma that leans you to watching them and stuff. So you go through and you find out more and more and more about them. Even Ben Shapiro had his, but you don't see me watching that guy. But he was a fast talker, threw out all the facts really super fast. It's like he was like, I seen him as like the debate god, like some Greek god of debates. I don't anymore. But that was my initial impression, the stigma that carried me through to watch more. So on that note, Lana Letkoff or Lektoff, I can't remember which way, is the blonde gal of the two. And Henrik, Henrik Palmgren, is the husband of the two. Now, he's the founder of Red Ice TV, and she's got a lot of other stuff that she does off to the side, radio shows and stuff like that. But he focuses primarily on what is going on around the world, on how we are getting sick of this shit and what we are doing about it. That's his current best avenue right now. Her avenue.
Sick of what shit? That's the question. What shit are we getting sick of?
There's a lot. The crazy world that we're in, and how, like how we protect the criminal and we go after the victim, on a legal basis. We throw them in jail if they anyway, you've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
Need to define that any further. And she's more of she can better explain multiculturalism, benefits, pros, cons, stuff like that. And when they're doing a show together on Western Warrior, which is a weekend thing, it's for members only. I'm paying $10 a month. I met them both. They're genuinely nice people. They're renting their home. They got a few kids. They're raising them. It's all legit. I didn't see any swastikas. I didn't see any ropes dangling. No crosses burning. They're just proud white people. Now, and they're in the appropriate area. The area in which I live in is that. I'm only I'm just an earshot away from Hayden, Hayden. At one point in time, it was actually the Aryan nation capital of the world. And when I heard that prior to moving here, I'm like, oh, fuck, skinheads. I'm like, I don't want that, And there's a mindset to understanding. If you get enough exposure, what you're going to find out is that 99.99% of the time people stereotype these guys as your fucking, kill niggers, that you're not going to, it's
not, that language is not necessary, is it? Do we have to use that language?
Well, we don't have to. I could knock it back a notch.
I'd appreciate it. I want to have a intelligible conversation, and I don't want to not offend people.
Right. No, okay. Got you. Okay, so the more and more you get to know some people that are in that kind of arena, you'll see that they're actually decent people with good morals, and they're not looking to hurt anybody else.
Mhm.
And that's what they're telling you. They didn't, when I ran that show, you didn't hear any call to action like you should go out and start shooting or get, wood chippers and all that stuff. You didn't. What you hear from her mainly is that if you want to go, have you ever been to China?
No.
But if you wanted to go to China, you got all your money, your trips, you saved up, got all your stuff. 10 years later, you and the wife are finally going off to China. You got your trip all laid out, all your little hot stops, what you want to do and see.
Mhm.
If you went there and it was a whole bunch of people like me and you, and hardly no culture there of the place that you're going to, wouldn't that be a little awkward? I just paid $20,000 for a life's vacation in a place that I could see in my driveway. So the purpose for multiculturalism in what she's trying to explain is that it has its benefits and it has its places. And people that are in Spain, they have a culture. And if you're attracted to go see that, then go see that. If you're, if you want to go on a safari hunt, there's places for that with that type of culture. It's the same thing. Hawaii, the list goes on and on and on. You want to go to an Irish pub and see these handmaidens with the big old boobies and the frilly skirt. Everywhere you go, or used to be, that you want to go visit another culture, you're going there because you appreciate it, but it's not a choice you're making to incorporate it in your all-day life. You're going to go back home someday soon, and then you're going to go back to your own, whatever that may be.
What is your own? That's
the
problem that I had when I was listening to these people.
Well, it's a little harder to define here in this, especially where you're at, because your own is a large melting pot of other cultures.
So is every other state in the continental U.S.
We have larger pockets of less multiculturalism. We have many more. They're more frequent and they're larger. If you're up here, you'd know what I mean.
I've been to every state in this country, and I've been to almost every province in Canada, and I've been all the way down to Mexico City. I've driven this whole continent.
And all the numbers look the same. Just as many blacks, Asians, Hispanics, whites, always the same, no matter where you went.
No, of course not. That's not what I'm saying.
Right. That's what I'm getting to.
There's no distinct pockets of just black people or white people or Hispanic people.
Oh, there are. I'll show you. You come where I'm at, and then we can hop on a bus and go to Chicago. All right, I'll show you these distinct pockets that are very large of people that have a clash in cultures.
Okay.
So,
but go ahead.
Well, I was just in her defense, but in her non-defense, she's a bit stuck up, kind of. She's a bit snobby, the nose up in the air. I got to admit, I can't get past that. But she does some good representations as to why it's important that your heritage is very important. You should value it. You should treasure it. You should fight for it. You should keep it alive. And Muhammad Ali said, I don't know if you heard him saying it, Cassius Clay getting interviewed, and he was going on about, no, man, I want my baby to look like me, black and beautiful. And he says, blue jays fly with blue jays, seagulls fly with seagulls, parakeets with parakeets. That's just nature. That's how it was meant to be. So he explained it in a way, and she even showed that clip. Here's the explanation.
How it was really meant to be. That was my question. Is that really how it was meant to be?
I don't know. Who are we consulting on this? Are we consulting the climate change? Do we want to go to Greta Thunberg, or just go use Mother Nature on this one?
I don't understand what that means.
Well, if we were to get out of
where is the rule Where is the rule that says that I have to only procreate with people of my heritage?
I don't see a rule like that.
Okay, so
It's not a
where's the rule that says that just people of color have to procreate with people of color?
Not a rule. Never
Not
said
a
it was
rule, right? So this is a fabricated, how do you say, a narrative that these people are pushing to tell people that you have to keep the classes, where if you want to consider them classes, separated. Has that about sum it up?
Well, I wouldn't want my area, because that's why I moved here. I wouldn't want my area to be inundated with all these people coming across the border. Is that okay to say? Can I because it's my community, and I'm proud of my community. I'm proud. I got some family here, and I value that family.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want. I mean, if let's just okay, if blacks are 12% of the U.S. population, why are they upwards of 57% of the crime? If the numbers don't tell you anything, then what about a difference in preferences of how you live your life?
Okay. So what are you supposed to do with those people? Right? The 57% of
Let
the
them
people
be.
who are committing crimes.
Let them be.
That live in this country. What do we do with them?
Well, I don't want to do nothing with them. I just don't want to be around them. That's all she's saying, is I just don't want to live around you.
And that's something that is acceptable.
It's my preference.
That's your preference.
It's why I live here. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, you can label me a racist if you want, if that sticks that.
No, I'm not labeling anybody anything.
Okay, well, no, I mean,
not at all.
If somebody wants to think that I'm racist, I'm not going to waste too much time proving them wrong. They're allowed to think that. I got friends of all colors, and I get along with them just fine. And I know, huh?
My question is, how does what's the name of this place again? Red Snap TV? Red Ice TV. How is it that these people from Red Ice TV are moving us forward in this country?
Okay. All right. Let's address that.
That's a great question.
Would you say there's some truth into that, whether it's our government or the Jews or the overlords or whoever's in charge of pulling all the strings of all the different countries, that Western civilization is a target right now? Would you agree to that?
Western civilization has always been a target.
And it's predominantly what?
Predominantly, you mean color?
Mm-hmm.
It's not white.
Europe, Australia, no, they're all black.
Maybe you have a different misconception of what white is. Where did white come from?
Well, if Western civilization is being hurt by our own tax dollars, we are funding our own demise with Western civilization being on the chopping block. We've seen it for a couple of decades at least, how Western civilization is on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
That they're protecting the non-Western civilizations and they're invading ours. So how do you fight that? How do you win that battle? One way is, well, you first have to acknowledge that it's real. If Western civilization is on the chopping block, you realize that it's real. And if you're in a place that it's being affected by, well, now you have to pay attention to it kind of soon. And so if you push back, what's that look like? Who's to gauge what that kind of pushback looks like? Pete, on other shows, me and you've cracked jokes about how we'd set up turrets at the border and with automated, laser, sharks with lasers sniping off, these these guys because we don't want Western civilization destroyed. We live in a country, the United States of America, predominantly white. Got it. I'm just going to throw that in there. It never was all white. It never will be. I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is signing my paycheck over to these people that come here with the intent to harm. And they're not coming here. They're running here. And our government is telling them to do so and rewarding them for it. They don't go to jail and if so, they're released right away. How many murders that people have on them, how many rapes that people have on them. Well-known psychopaths are out in the streets with your daughter. So when it comes time to push back, what does it look like? It's not for me to determine. I have my sarcastic answers as to what I would do. And then I have a reality check. I have 3 guns located somewhere in my house. And I have a dog that will kill you. And I have neighbors that will defend me. So my little area is good because I made sure it was. And there's no harm in defending yourself, your family. You know, it's just part of the right to life and happiness and persevere. You know, all those guys.
I agree with that.
Yeah, your unalienable rights are being trampled on right now.
How far are you out from a major city?
15 minutes if I drive fast. Spokane, Washington. Trannies all over the place.
Okay.
We're not far. We're not far.
Not far. So have you ever, in I don't know how long you've been living in your current residence, but have you ever had to defend your home against the invasion of people that are trying to degrade the West that you're speaking of? Has you ever had to come to the rescue?
I have the expected answer, but with a twist. No, I have not.
Okay.
Here's and isn't that great where I chose to live? Isn't that just crafty?
That's great, right? Now, I live in a major city in Los Angeles. And I've been in this house for over 16 years now. I haven't had any incidents yet. The closest we came to is the George Floyd riots.
Right, but if you were to just simply go to GoFundMe and do a browse, you know, you could just browse for who else got one up. You know you're going to see it, Pete. You know you're going to see it.
See what?
It's not because you didn't experience it and I didn't experience it that it's not real. That claim is out the window a long time.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these people's version of the degradation of Western society due to multiculturalism is something that looks like it's a fabricated narrative. Just by listening, I was watching your show for well over an hour yet this morning.
So, but then
and to me, it sounded like these two people did not like black people. Period.
So
they just did not like black people.
They're giving you a bird's eye view of something. They're giving you a bird's eye view of other places that this is happening in Western civilization. It's like, well, Pete wasn't there, so it didn't happen thing. That, you know, it's real. It's happening. These people are getting murdered, raped, thrown into trafficking, and it's a real thing. And we know who's at the top. And I'm not saying go after them. I just want them to leave me alone too. I want all the problems to leave me alone. And so I had to choose right damn near next to fucking Canada to do it. I mean, freaking sorry about the language. But yeah, I had to pick a spot, just this little pocket, and I'm surrounded by it. You know, you can go 50 miles to the east, go 50 miles to the south, you can go 15 miles to the west. Nowhere north though. it's not going to be north. It's too damn cold.
You don't want to go north. I know that.
But no, there's very few places you can go to and live a life where you don't see some of the things that are actually on these clips.
Now, I do understand, and I'm not denying that there is major problems in this country. I'm far from it. I am far from it. But
so what do you think would happen if let's say Trump gets up there and he's like, man, this border shit has really gotten out of control. Telling you what, guys, you have your Second Amendment. Do what you got to do. It looks like we're being invaded. How many people would be like, click, click, let's go?
But that's not going to happen. I mean, in all reality, nothing like that's going to happen.
No, it's not.
Trump did.
That's why I said imagine. That's why I said imagine if.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if he said something like that, most people won't go.
I don't agree with that.
I do.
But, so anybody that goes to watch Red Ice TV, they're probably going to be hit with the side thought of, man, what a racist biatch. Or, but the more you think about it, you check what you want. You check your preferences. Well, I don't. It's not a black person. It's not a few black people. It's an entire tribe that when that happens, history has proven to show you what goes on then. Maybe Rite Aid could tell you a little story about it. I don't know. Maybe Target. It's just
Okay.
It's there's a domestication issue with these inner cities that aren't educating and doing the correct type of schooling to become plumbers and stuff like that. And Joe's learn to code thing didn't work out too well. And so there's going to be a lot of stealing and very little conscious about it. When people want something, they're going to get something. But how they get it is a matter of morals. If you feel that your heritage and your upbringing put that value in you, that you need to go work for it, or you need to earn it, or you need to borrow it from somebody that has that you've done favors for, whatever that may be, a community effort or whatever, then that would be I think the right way to do it. Right and wrong is a dream. You try and determine right and wrong because it's all a matter of who you're talking to at the time.
Yes, it is.
There was an interview on the show that you watched this morning where the newscast lady was asking, she was trying to get out of these three Haitian, let's just call them Haitian rapists that raped this girl, and she was interviewing them. And what she was trying to get out of them was, do you feel any remorse for that girl and what you did to her? And they couldn't fathom that. When asked questions like, do you have any regrets? Isn't it a bit risky? And for the risky part, they said, yeah, we know sometimes when we rape them, we could get STDs. That's where their conscience is on some of these people that are coming over across our border.
Yeah, but that interview was in Great Britain.
What's that?
That interview was in Great Britain.
Well, I mean,
that wasn't here in the United States.
So it's not happening here?
Well, the last time that they, and you can check it out, the last time that they had a Middle Eastern rape gang in Minnesota that raped a bunch of 13 and 14-year-old girls. I think it was 4 of them. They got caught, went to prison, and were killed immediately.
Well, that's nice to hear, because not that they're dead, but that it sends a message.
It's good to hear that they're dead.
Well, okay. But it said it's
our culture here in the United States, as opposed to Great Britain's culture or somebody else's culture that allows that kind of behavior, is completely different.
There you go. So you said it right there, Pete, with that type of culture that allows that type of behavior. All I'm saying is that, if we're the beacon on the hill, don't allow that type of behavior at all.
We don't. our criminals don't allow that type of behavior.
Okay.
If you're a child rapist in prison, you're not going to survive.
Everybody says that if America falls, the rest of it's going to fall, and they give various reasons for different aspects of that, whether it's economical, social, all the elements. And I don't discount that at all. I think it is true. And so when our government, that for whatever reason got them to cuck out to their overlords and go up against the people, now that they're big enough to do so, I would like them to go play elsewhere. I don't want to follow them. I don't want to be involved with them. They can occupy that little DC area as much as they want. Just stay away from my home, my community, and my friends, my family. It's not asking too much. I'll continue paying my taxes and I won't bitch about it. But I want you guys to leave me the hell alone, because I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not coming at you. So I don't think I'm in the wrong for agreeing with her when it comes to, hey, we have enough. We have enough. For years, you guys have been paid to come here. Through administration after administration, you guys have just trampled this place. When do we say it's enough? Stop. And how does stop look? What is the vision of stop look? Because our government is obviously taken no interest in stopping it, except Thomas Massey. He's about the only candidate politically that showed any promise of, like, let's kick the fit out, let's end this immigration stuff, and then his wife died suddenly. They haven't talked about the cause. I'm not saying that there's some kooky stuff, but there might be some kooky stuff. It's happened before. So the only one guy, and trust me, even if he had a great life and they gave him all the, and he won all of his elections, one man's not doing it.
No,
now,
one man's not going to do it.
If you could admit that our government has been overran by this cabal, Khazarian, call them what you want, the Jays, whatever, then what's to stop you from thinking that what about our Supreme Court? What about the final stop? Is there any blackmail or some money, some threats, any kids' girlfriend's going to get blown up in a car? How do you know that our Supreme Court isn't on the take in some aspects? I mean, if we put our faith in that, because that's the backing on, those are the ones that defend our Constitution. That's the final stop. You don't go, there's no other like Supreme Court V2. I wish, but there isn't. So, this is why I don't want to play their game anymore. They're real good at, this overtime boiling frog shit. And so our taxes go up and they get richer. And it's just going to fund more of this fuckery at the border. And I'll, I don't care if it's tunnels or whatever, but
basically, see, this is where I had the issue when I said something about this morning in my show this morning. What is your issue with exactly? Is it with the people coming across the border from South America, talking about Mexicans, Nicaraguans, Peruvians, El Salvadorians, et cetera, or is your problem with the black population that's in the United States already that are not migrating from anywhere?
It's not the latter. It's not the latter of the two. Because at 12%, when most of them are addicted to opiates and don't have a father, not too hard to beat there. Okay, not too hard to beat. Not too hard to get control of and to help out and to provide opportunity, provide education. If the right person were up there, these inner cities could be fixed. Trump made some damn good moves on it on his last term. He really did. He did a great job at providing opportunities. And we can focus on that as a people if we weren't so damn worried about massive other cultures coming in. Because if you were to take a whole bunch of, Anglo-Saxon Americans or whatever and just go to Ireland or whatever and just like infiltrate, let's say Ireland's got no problems, or Sweden or whatever, and we just all go there. It's no longer Ireland or Sweden. It's now us. We're there. That's our culture now becomes that. And now that culture is gone. And I don't want that. I don't want that to happen anywhere. You know, if I want to learn how to build a mud hut, I'm going to Uganda right now. Go to Wakanda, get you a mud hut. You want to
Didn't that happen here?
Huh?
Didn't that happen here in the United States? Before it was the United States?
Oh, I don't know. Well, we could have that discussion of how, you know, when a nation gets conquered, well, that's the, you know, here's your reservation. Sorry, that, you know, that's now a piece of history. You could ask Germany about that. They know a lot about it. So when a nation gets conquered, well, there's a winner and a loser. And however that may happen, life moves on. We're here now, and we built this country. I'm sorry to say, but it was fields and mountains and streams, and we put everything here. We did that. Our culture put this here.
We did, huh?
Well, you could make claims to there was a lot of Asians that were working on our railroads, washing our laundry, or blacks picking cotton. We could make those arguments of the evil bullshit that our people did to seize an opportunity, you know. And I'm not gonna give them any credit with this. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, you know, that's capitalism. It's got to be competitive. Oh, you got to get some slaves. It's not. I'm not throwing you that fight at all. I'm just saying that we have had an established culture here, and it's something that people should value, hold on to, and protect.
And do you see how fast the multicultural argument falls apart?
How so?
When you inject reality into it?
Well, I guess it's whatever reality somebody perceived from me and you talking just now, I guess. I don't know.
So
if you're thinking multiculturalism,
right? Black slave traders brought black slaves to the United States, to the colonies.
Now, who brought them?
Black slave traders. Okay, it wasn't Americans. It wasn't white people who went to Africa to go get slaves. It was blacks who brought them here.
Would you like to know who owned the ships and navigated them?
Yeah, I know exactly who did.
Okay,
I'm not going to get into a.
We don't have to go there, right?
Yeah, we don't need to go there. Everybody heard Duppy's presentation. We all know. Okay. But the black slave traders are the ones who brought the slaves here, sold their own people into slavery. The Chinese people sold their own people into slavery.
When given freedom, and most of them chose to stay instead of take their freedom, what do you get out of that when most of them chose to stay? I'd rather be here. I got a good life. This is good. I'm working hard. I'm getting food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning a new trade. So most of them stayed. So how bad was it? I mean, there's I can turn on Roots and show you their version of history.
That's exactly, you just made my point.
Yeah.
How bad is multiculturalism? If all the people who were supposedly brought here against their will, once they were done, they didn't leave.
They wanted to stay.
They wanted to stay.
That's the answer. They wanted to stay.
Exactly.
They were already a part of the culture. They got brought into the culture. They wanted to stay because back then you didn't just go off and create Wakanda, Illinois. That didn't happen. They were a part of whatever city, whatever town, whatever county, whatever sovereigns, whatever laws that were there. They adapted to that and they liked it.
So what we have is a different version in 2024 of multiculturalism than we had in 1824. Instead of having the assimilation and the adaptation.
Well, how about a different version? I'll give you that, but plus sign on steroids.
Yeah.
We have a plus sign on meth.
And the only reason that is in this country is because of our government from 1963 on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because previous 1963, we had none of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
There was the civil rights movement, which was being encompassed by all the entire country. And it wasn't until after the assassination of Kennedy that Johnson came in with the welfare state and destroyed the black family and the Hispanic family in the inner cities, which created this division
Yes.
in the country that
I agree.
I gotta say that Barack Obama, the community organizer, capitalized on and became president twice.
Well, much like everybody's got their own version of what they want America to be, whether it's if you watch an Andy Griffith show, if you want to go back to that time, you know, then you've got to do X, Y, and Z. And if you just want to go back to Happy Days time, you know, everybody's got their own version of what they would like life to be here in America, their country. You know, I got an ID that says I'm from here, so I have somewhat of a say on people have an opinion of what they would want the outcome to look like, and it differs, but not all that much. And one thing you're probably going to find out is there's not too many of them that have been here, where their parents have been here and their grandparents have been here. Those people aren't the ones saying we need more, bring them in. You won't find that, Pete, because we have enough. At some point in time, somebody needs to say, and have the cojones to do so, enough is enough. Our government is doing this to us as a weapon of Western civilization's destruction. They can't have free thinking, creative, hardworking people with values. They cannot have that, and they will destroy it.
Okay, so say in however many months from now, Joe Biden loses the election. We get a Republican, say Donald Trump, back in office. How quickly will the border be closed in order to stop the invasion, as everybody calls it, the invasion, and I'm not saying that it's not, but the invasion of the Western civilization destructors. Basically, that's what we're calling them.
If he wanted to, and had the support of all of his constituents, or not his constituents, but his reach across the aisle, you know, if everybody that was under him in government were to support him on this, it would take no less than 20 minutes because of the troops are already nearby. Now you could lock down that border. You could start covering up tunnels, welding them shut, throwing, tear gas in there, and we can continue that quite easily, because if we were to just pull like 10% of the troops that we have in other countries and assign them that one mission is to defend and protect and prepare our borders for closure, that would happen within 20 minutes if they were in position. It wouldn't take long. And there'd be very little bloodshed. You don't put people out there. I mean, 1 million flashlights, buzz lights, searchlights, and shit like that going around, sirens all over the place. Ain't no coyote want any of that business. So problem solved right away. Right away. It just takes a swipe of a little signature, maybe even throw a statement on a video saying, hey, it's gone too far. I can't fix this with just a wall. We're going to do this. Here's the plan. We're doing it. Troops are on the way. This is happening. And his entire generation would then be elected. I'm talking all of them fuckers would get a seat.
Well, they're like, okay, Latanya Keel up there says won't be stopped.
No, it won't. That's not the plan. You have to trust the plan.
What plan?
That's right.
Oh, come on. We're not even talking about that shit. And even Slanty Chauffeur Bear right underneath that statement. The people,
hey, White Wings, what do you think?
Americans,
are
they just
you
want American
seeing it in
stuff.
real time in Texas there, White Wings? He says, come to Texas, see for yourself. And then he says, ask the ranchers on the borders what's happening. We know, we're aware of it. We don't see it enough to live with it all day long. It's pretty ugly to watch.
We have 20 million, maybe more,
30
million undocumented people, gotaways that we know of in this country right now. Beach Bum and Mermaid says mass deportations.
Okay. I'll agree to that. That would be nice. And he's touted that. But
right.
We'll have to see when the rubber meets the road on that. Because he's also in the other thing saying, you know, which he won't. We've had this discussion. College grads get green cards and stuff like that, but he can do that. But nobody can. That would have to go through a whole bunch of states to have that one fixed up, because we're not 37 states aren't signing off on that. Trust me.
Well, so basically, what we've done here, if we've negated your two people, whatever their names were, talking about people going back to their own country. Because it really, if you want to get deep down into the bones of what we're talking about here, we're not talking about the African American population.
Nope.
We're talking about the people who are coming across the border.
Yep.
Right? So
yep.
Now I'm not gonna say that I'm for that. No. Mass deportation, get them out of my country. Simple as that. Put the border wall back up, post the friggin' National Guard from the ocean to wherever. Stop the flow of migrants coming in. This is the real multiculturalism that we're talking about here. The adults in the room are talking about here. That's why I had such an issue with that girl saying the things that she said, because she sounded like she was just a plain fucking racist.
She it'll come off that way.
It didn't come out. It is that way.
Well,
she didn't just come off that way. She is that way.
Well, Pete, I've met her. I can't say I know her because I met her, but I've watched all of their stuff. And I did meet them. And you could say it is that way, but I'm saying that show gave you that impression. If you were to watch more, and trust me, you wouldn't feel the same as you do now about her, because she's just a mom with some kids and a husband and a good radio voice, and not hard on the eyes, just fighting for, it's not like she's getting paid by Soros to do this. They're funded by regular folks. It's just
but you got to understand, I just clicked on your show this morning because I happened to be up that early.
And you love me.
What you were showing this morning was two people who were incredibly racist. Now, I could have watched 20 other episodes where it didn't tell me that. That episode told me that.
Okay.
I called it out on my show and decided to review on.
Oh no, you were no doubt, and full credit to your observational skills there, that she was definitely sounding a bit racist, and he backs her up. And
absolutely,
it seems that way. And it's just, I don't know, when they show clips of these people that are fighting and getting into fights and robbing places and doing these rapes, murder style activities,
to you, listen, it's not about what those people are talking about. You have an entirely different viewpoint on what's taking out Western society.
Yeah, just like when I watch Adam Green, it didn't turn me into a this guy who believes in Darwin's theory and shit like that. I still don't have that answer, and I'm damn sure ain't gonna look to a person to get it. It's just, I don't. You get to believe what you want, and I get out of him what I want. You're allowed to do that on shows. You take away what you want from it.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm
having
an intelligent conversation with another grown person about what they decided to watch on their show.
Right.
And then we've come to the conclusion that you don't even believe in what these people are saying. Because your version of multiculturalism is completely different from theirs.
I don't see that. I don't see how it's.
I just proved that point. I just proved that point. How many black people are coming across the border?
Do you think that they'd stop their show if they were all whites coming across the border and robbing everybody? I don't think so. I think the show would still go on.
I don't think that really has anything to do with it.
There was a black guy that was at the meeting when we were out in their backyard. People were playing croquet and the kids jumping on the trampoline. There was a black guy. He didn't look threatened whatsoever, and nobody was like, "Who brought the N-word?" None of that happened. Because it's not about it's not about a skin color here. It's about a culture of crime, a society of degradation. We don't want that. I won't tolerate it. Mm-hmm. I'm a little fed up with how shit's going. When I go to the grocery store and I see what I see, it's bad. Some places are bad. I don't want to exchange currency by hand with a transvestite. It to me, it's like, get away. It kind of freaks me out. Get away. I'm not.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's your personal preference.
And that's me. But the funny thing is that the 1,000 people within a circular radius of me are all like me. There's only that one that's doing this. Can I help you?
That's the beauty of the shining city on a hill. We have that kind of diversity in this country, and you're never, ever going to get rid of it.
But they're turning certain places into shitholes, and our kids aren't being able to go to schools anymore because they need that for immigrants. 50% of our hotels across the United States of America are occupied by illegal immigrants on your tax dollar. Someone's going to say enough pretty soon.
The only people who can say enough are the people who are paying the bills.
I'm going to be vindicated as a non-racist.
That has nothing to do with. See, the problem is you're conflating what racism is.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
I know, but to what racism is, to what other things are. You're not a racist because you don't want to live the way that is.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to get overrun by people coming across the border illegally or legally. Does that make me a racist?
No.
Of course not.
No, you just want to live your life best you can.
I just want to live my life.
Yeah.
For as much time as I have left on this beautiful planet, I want to just enjoy my life. Yeah. Right. So do I want to do it safely? Absolutely. Do I want to do it with my family? Absolutely. That doesn't make me a racist.
Hey,
when that girl said, I went to the park with my kids, my little blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids, and I saw this woman who had blonde hair and blue eyes, and her 2 children were black, and her husband was black. I felt sorry for her because she was never going to have children that looked like her.
Well,
never taking into consideration that maybe that woman didn't see color, didn't see anything, and passed judgment on her and her children because deep down in her heart, she's a fucking racist. Does that make sense?
I understand, and this is where it gets a little sensitive on this, but she wants to have her kids carry on her heritage. When you pass something down to your children, it's not just the house or this car or an inheritance. Sometimes it's your genealogy, sometimes it's your heritage, sometimes it's your culture, sometimes it's your morals. But in an all grand package, it's up for that person to decide. And I would have to put her in the same seat as I would Muhammad Ali when he gave the same speech and said the same thing.
Yeah, I've seen that speech many times, and that's perfectly fine.
So
and people looked at Muhammad Ali as somebody who shouldn't have said what he said. Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest boxers to ever live, ever. But Muhammad Ali was also a racist. He was also a draft dodger. He was also involved in a lot of shady things. But we only look at him for being the greatest pugilist in the world.
I think I put a lot of value on the fact that he said that, and I respect his memory for having said that and having acknowledged the truth that, Blue Jays want to fly with Blue Jays. That's part of nature. There's nothing wrong with being with running parallel with nature if that's the plan. A lot of people are more so focused on religion or a faith, or maybe they worship the sun. But I like what I can see in front of me. I see nature in front of me, and no other. Why would we be the only species that says, "Hey, yeah, let's do this up"? Let's get this black and white couple and have some kids, and we'll just what's the great grandkids look like that are that came originally from another yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Get back off me, brother. I'm Norwegian.
Let me ask you a question. I know my lineage. I know my lineage back to the 15th century. My brother did the genealogy thing.
It's pretty mixed up, isn't it?
What color do you think I am?
Oh, you're a bunch of them.
I'm only one race.
Oh, that's it. You're pure, huh?
Yes.
What is it?
No, I'm asking you. Do I look black? Do I look white?
Yeah.
I look white?
Well, on the surface, yeah, you act it too.
90%, over 90% of the people in my line come from Sicily.
Okay.
Right at the boot tip of North Africa.
Okay.
So if I say that I have African blood in me, do you now consider me a non-white person?
We went from cultural norms to DNA like that.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't think we should have gone there, because it's like that's a whole new can of worms on the DNA thing.
Exactly. So we don't know, absolutely have no idea. Those two people that we're talking about, they could have black lineage, African lineage in their bloodline.
Would it be wrong for me to have never ever wanted, or in fact to make sure that I didn't ever breed with an Asian or an African, or you go on down the list? If I was conscious of that and I knew that was never going to happen in my life, would you see a part of me as racist?
No, absolutely not.
Because it's my preference, right?
Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, on a molecular level, You got to remember that this planet is very old. The people here are been here a long time. Back in the day, there wasn't this type of division in the world.
If mixing races, Pete, if mixing races wasn't a form of decay, why is it every commercial that you see has got a black woman, a white husband, and a mixed kid? Every single commercial you go and see, you're going to see the narrative. And you know who's running that ad.
Yeah, but you know who's pushing the narrative, though, right?
Why?
You know who's pushing that narrative.
Yeah. That my point being made again. We know who's pushing the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And so is it okay now to fight back against that?
If that's what you so choose to do.
I do.
But is pushing back against that narrative going to be detrimental to the cause that we're trying to accomplish in this country right now?
No, we need
Not
unity.
saying that you can't do it, but is it going to be detrimental right now?
My argument is I want Americans in America. Okay? And there's I don't care what color. I really don't. And I don't care what religion. It doesn't matter. You have those freedoms here in America. But if you're not from America, get the hell out. Be gone.
I agree.
And when they say send them back or go back or we don't want you here, is because we're being obliterated by it. We're literally being destroyed by it right now. It's their number one thing. They haven't let up. It's constant, continuous, more and more all the time. And now we're having problems. Now we're changing law structure. Well, let's not criminalize this type of theft. If it's over if it's under $1,000, we're not gonna make a drive by and we're not gonna do much about this type of crime. Whereas before, they were so busy after defunding the police. They would attend to you shoplift, it's a crime. You're gonna get, there's accountability for that, but not anymore. And so we have businesses like, Walgreens. Well, I forget the exact number. Was it 60% of their locations across America are being closed down?
Yeah.
Because they can't make a profit if people can legally walk in and steal stuff. You got these people that just happen to be brown or darker. Coincidence? I don't know. Not my pony, not my fight. Nonetheless, they are what they are, and they're filling up trash bags full of stuff. And I do believe I am allowed to mock that. I do believe that I
totally, absolutely. Yeah. But here's the thing, though, where this is happening in most of the major cities, it's run by the political parties who are letting this happen.
That are controlled by the people that made the commercial. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
we're not so far.
I'm saying
we're not so far off, Pete. We're not so far off.
No, we're not. We're not, and that's the funny thing is we're not so far off. But my whole thing is if we listen to people like the guy and the girl in that video,
we're probably going to get racist and go after people for the wrong reason.
We're not going to get the right message out to the people who need to come together in order to stop what's going on here.
Under the premise of that episode, I do agree with you. She was,
thank God.
Outwardly,
I don't know how fucking happy that makes me feel.
If that were the only clip or that were the only episode you were to ever watch, I would agree with you wholeheartedly on that. They were a little over the top. They were outside of their norm, and their chat that I watched when they did it live reflected that. People stated that, wow, you guys are really going hard today. There were comments like that, man, racist much, so I saw it too.
Yeah.
But
and if that's the only impression, the first impression that I got from those people, I want nothing to do with them. Because do I believe that they have Do I believe that they may have some valid points when it comes to multiculturalism?
Yeah.
Yes, but they're not using the sign of the times to use. How do I say this? They're not using what's happening in the sign of the times right now to do that.
No,
They basically
no,
sound like 1933 Germany.
yeah. Well,
Am I wrong?
that's up. Well, I mean, it depends on what you got, and everybody learns a different history. There's so many versions of it. It's now a grab bag. It's just
Yeah.
so.
And I believe that we have come to a pretty much we've met. We have a little bit of an off kilter of what we think this, and that's perfectly fine. That's why we do this, is what we're doing. And
so my thing is, if our government isn't going to support us and our desires and our wishes, based on we say we don't want this, we say we that instead we want that, and our representation on our elected leaders take our numbers, whether it be through the electoral college or the masses itself, or they're not taking what we want and making it happen.
No,
but on a large scale, it's rarely, and they're just keeping us barely happy enough to not actually wood chipper them. We're riding on a.
I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people right now who are opening their eyes more than they really thought that they were.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is
Thomas Massey spoke out against all of this border stuff, and he had a wife that he loved. They got married in high school sweetheart, and she's dead now. I can't discount that the repetitious behavior when you come out, being the squeaky mouse getting the grease, they take care of you. If you're in opposition and you're yelling real loud, pretty soon something's going to happen.
Yeah. And we've seen that time and time again in our society. Unfortunately, that's the way that these people do business. But I think it's our responsibility, everybody here, everybody within earshot, to understand that right now, in today's society in the United States, the color of your skin, not to quote a famous person, not the color of your skin, but the content of your character is what's going to make this country great again.
Yeah, America.
We're going to make America great again. And we're not going to do it because we're going to segregate ourselves from black people, white people, red people, yellow people, purple people, green people. Doesn't matter. Americans and Americans alone are going to take this country back one way or another.
That's where me and you join hands on a 100% agreement. That is by history. That is exactly how it is going to play out.
Exactly.
It is not going to be through a form of legislation.
No.
Because Dominion doesn't want that.
No. And I always say I want to go the peaceful route. Mm-hmm. It's in my nature.
When possible.
To go peaceful. But
at almost all costs.
At almost all costs. We got to remember the American Revolution, before the first shot was fired, it was close to 17 years that the people leading up to who the founding fathers were, the elders of the colonies, went back and forth with the king to try and find a peaceful solution. 15 or 16 years, whatever it was, until war broke out. We're not even close.
Yeah, we're not. Perhaps it's perhaps I'm tainted because I have some skin in the game here. My granddaughter has to go to school in Spokane where the school board and the teachers cater to furries and trannies and and the gay and all and the lesbian and all that.
Spokane. What country you live in?
It's just a little west of the panhandle of Idaho, Spokane, Washington.
So you live in Idaho?
Yeah.
Okay, so why can't she go to a school in Idaho?
She doesn't live in Idaho.
Oh,
She lives with her
lived
mom.
with you.
That's the only place she could find that was close to the job that she got.
Oh,
And
okay,
so
I see. Okay, yeah.
The granddaughter, her name is Mia. Mia, who is Hispanic, and I plan on raising her and getting legal guardianship and making sure she has an opportunity at life. She's needed right now. Well, not now, but she was needed to come home and babysit their newborn for 1 hour while the deadbeat dad sleeps. And instead of fixing that, we curtail around that because, anyway, that's their relationship. But nonetheless, I see a kid who deserves an opportunity that I had. And we think we had it bad in school, because, our upbringing, it was a little more harsh and stuff. If somebody had a problem with it, you just got your ass kicked for it.
Pretty much.
It wasn't much discussing it. It was just okay, let's go. But what we don't think of a lot, we find it disgusting that it's happening in this societal rot in America that's happening over the course of time. But it hurts me emotionally, the fact that this kid is forced to deal with this and see it as normal. That's not passable by me. I will not permit it. I will obtain legal guardianship over the child with her mother's consent for the sole purpose of putting her through the rest of school. And with an A- average, I think any college would like to have her. And there's going to be a whole lot of morals that are taught. And, with reasons as to why, that I'm no slouch when it comes to making something happen like this. And it's something I have to do. I mean, you can't throw that away. You can't, that's your problem. It's not like me.
This goes right to what I was saying this morning. When I was talking about the Supreme Court's, the Chevron decision in the Supreme Court, that they're going to be dealing with a lot of these regulations when it comes to the EPA, the Board of Education, so on and so forth. So if they get rid of the Board of Education, it would give your granddaughter an opportunity for the government to pay for her school.
Yeah.
But to go into wherever the parents decide for her to go to school, making it the parents' decision or you as the legal guardian's decision, not the government's decision. And that's what I was talking about this morning, that these people are going batshit crazy because they overturned the Chevron decision.
Well, Trump's idea on the charter school thing was right up my alley. I said it so long ago when I first got into this game on what schools should look like, and it should be very, very local and very competitive.
The government should not be involved.
That's right.
Period. End of statement.
That is right. All the way. They should not have any involvement and to never be given an opportunity to weasel in and take an opportunity either. They should stay
let's
all
circle
the way
back.
out of that.
Yeah, let's circle back real quick. The public school system in the inner cities are the flashpoint of the destruction of the inner core of this country.
Yes, it is, because everything can change right there for better or worse.
That's exactly right.
That's where thing. If you want to force this feminism and have the wife go out and get 2 jobs and I'll get 2 jobs and I leave my kid in your school, you better do a damn good job. But you didn't. You're teaching them to hate us. You're teaching them to hate their parents and lie to them.
Yeah,
so
and that's the way it keeps going.
Societal rot is a massive tentacle web. It's just everywhere you look, whatever path you want to go down, you'll find it.
Exactly.
And the big and most precedent ones that are that are in our faces, I can't win that. I can't win everybody's battle, but I'm gonna save this fucking kid.
Well,
She's gonna have
the only thing you can do is do what you can do.
It was kind of cool. Thanks for letting me get personal on this and off topic.
No problem.
But we're talking out in the back porch, and she's over here for her 13th birthday. I'm like, okay, well, here's what I can give you. The problems that me and you had, where you called the cops on me for slapping your wrist, all that stuff. We're gonna wipe it clean. We're gonna free start over, and I'll never mention, and I'll never even consider any of the stuff that happened in the past. Me and you can start all over. Here's my rules. Don't ever lie to me. That's all my rules. Don't ever lie to me. and that's it. Just don't lie. And then she was wearing something that was borderline, not as conservative as I would want or permit to be worn, because she's growing these, she's maturing.
She's getting older.
Region.
Yeah.
And it's not, at 13, you shouldn't be showing that you're maturing in that region. Nothing wrong with
girls, I know.
Nothing wrong with a bra and a thin sweater, okay? You don't need to do the V-neck right now. That's not the message I want sent. And I said, this stuff's going to change. Little things like your cell phone will be on the kitchen counter by 10 p.m. If you have a boyfriend over, there will be an adult here and your door will be open. If you don't like any of those rules, you can take it off. Go do your thing.
Seems
and she'll have the best, she'll have an allowance and money and nice things. And it's just, you get to go where you get to go. If, it's all based on that. How you feeling, Pete?
I'm getting there. I'm going to have to shut this down. My throat's starting to hurt. Well, I mean, you doing what you need to do in order to protect your granddaughter is admirable. A lot of people wouldn't even take it that far.
I did it with her little brother, and now he, may I be excused? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I kid you not. I look at him and I'm like, Vinny, do we have a problem? No. It's done. That's it. It's over. Yeah. So, I mean, I know I can pull this off. I mean, you can't be spanking a 13-year-old. That's just ludicrous. No. But you can take shit away. You can give stuff and take it away.
Yeah. All right, Salty. So I think today we've had a pretty this was a pretty productive discussion. I hope everybody in the chat on all platforms really enjoyed this, because I think that we've come to the conclusion that we're not so far off in what our mindsets are.
No, we all want the same outcome. We really do.
Yeah. Thank you, Gladys. Love you too. And I think the next thing that we're going to discuss, you and I, is we're going to discuss George Soros.
Oh, you'll have me on that one, my friend. You'll have me on that one. I don't know enough about the guy, but I know that he, just because he went off into the wild blue or whatever, his kid's still a threat.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I'll let you know when. I won't give you a time or anything like that. We may just, whatever happens. But I think we need to have a discussion about George Soros, and because it kind of fits in with your Adam Green guy.
Okay. So, hey guys in the chat, anybody watching over here on Foxhole? I appreciate the opportunity here to talk with Pete like this. I've always liked him and admired him, and tonight he worked especially hard and did a great show. Whatever pills you guys could donate, I myself would say thank you to that.
I appreciate that.
It would be great if you could show a little love in that area. If you have it, if you don't, little red button, share the show, and make sure you don't miss the next one. So Thanks a lot. I had a lot of fun. All right,
Salty. We will. I definitely see you on Tuesday.
Sure, you will.
Yeah. So
anytime you want, Pete. Anytime you want.
I'll get back to you with the Soros thing.
Okay.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot.
Take care, everybody.
Good night. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for sticking with me. We've had almost close to 80 people watching this show on the constant since we started, and I think that's actually great that we have people who can see different points of view on a very controversial subject, and stick with us and give us your opinions and your ways of looking at things. And I greatly appreciate that, and I'm hoping to bring more content like that. So let me thank everybody on the D Live, the YouTube, and the X who are hanging out over there. If I didn't say hello to anybody, how you doing? Welcome. Everybody over on the Pilled. If I missed anybody, saying hello to you guys, all the lurkers, welcome to you. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. And everybody who donated, all the subscriptions, Beach Bum and Mermaid, love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And whoever got subscriptions, I appreciate that. And the gold pills and the red pills. And like Salty said, if you can just share the show out, give me a red pill. That's just as good as anything else. I appreciate it so much. So I'm shutting down my whole voice until hopefully tomorrow, which I believe will be Sunday night chit chat with Mrs. Ptp. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a show in the morning. If I am, I'll see you then. If not, I will probably see you tomorrow night right here with Mrs. Ptp at 6 o'clock. It's always fun. Mr. Oilman, we may go out to lunch on Mr. Oilman tomorrow. So I don't know what we're doing. So until then, once again, thank you guys very much. And I'm going to just end the show, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for sure.